Well, Gio, I'm gonna explain to you about the Condorcet Paradox and the whole thing about it, and which basically it is basically it's a type of voting paradox, so type of way of voting, and basically this is how basically our legislators they do their one way of their voting, but it's a reason why I'm gonna explain to this to you, and the first stuff I'm gonna start talking to you about is transit property, which have you heard of it before or not really? So basically, it's when A equals B, B equals C, and so that means that A equals to C. So, well, with people, they're not like that. They have different mindsets. So what A equals B might not be what B equals to C. So we can't just assume what that A is equal to C, and like that. So how we're gonna do this is we're gonna do like in a chart that we have right here, which is an example. We have three people with three different mindsets, and we give them three choices. So we have Sally, which she wants, which one of the first choice is Air Delight, and then the second choice is Burger Barn, and third choice is the China Cafe. So with her, she has in that order the Air Delight first, and then the Burger Barn, and then the China Cafe. And then Billy, he has the Burger Barn, and then the China Cafe, and then lastly the Air Delight, and then has the China Cafe, Air Delight, and Burger Barn. So when we try to have a decision to where exactly where they want to eat, it's going to be a lot of conflict because they all want three separate things. So we're going to go to this separate thing where okay, who has the majority, what has the most majority vote? So if we wanted to do Burger Barn, we'll ask that, okay, what do you, how would you prefer the Burger Barn? That first, that's her second choice. For Billy, that's his favorite choice, his first choice, and then it's not really her choice at all that she really wants to go to. So at the end, they're going to go to Burger Barn since that is the majority rules. But things that's going to leave Lynn not satisfied. So either way it goes, if you change it up, even like we do China Cafe, Lynn and Billy are going to be satisfied, but Sally won't be. So at the end, it's not going to satisfy no one, and at times that's what creates a lot of conflict. And that's when that point where you need this thing called a agenda setter, which is the one basically the person in charge. And the person in charge, they would take the majority vote, but also they'll see, okay, so instead of creating out this conflict, okay, no, okay, we're gonna do this, and this is what's gonna go on. So if we have Billy as the agenda setter, it's gonna take the vote for, okay, who wants Burger Barn? So it's gonna be Sally and Billy, but then she doesn't really want it. But it's like, well, we have the majority vote. That's when it's gonna go on. That's what's gonna happen. So so we have that, but at times when if we have more people and more choices, that's what makes this thing so complicated. Where people just have so many choices, of us a lot of conflict. Like, well, I don't want that. I don't want this. I don't want that, and no one's satisfied all the time. So the more people, the more choices they have, it's more complicated that's going to be. That's why you need a agenda setter to actually put their foot down. Actually, okay, well, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to go on. So far from what I'm telling you, do you understand what the chart is talking about, basically? Okay. So for the agenda setter to you, what is that person to you?
The person in charge, the leader, who decides, decision maker.
Okay. And when you have more choices and more people, what does that create?
More conflict.
Yeah.
Make it more complicated.
Yeah. So that's why that's what makes it more important, because to avoid all that issues, which right here we're talking about, so like when that's why in the legislator, when you have they can't do just one thing at a time. Because doing that's gonna take a lot of it's too much focus on that one thing. But that's why they do like some multiple things at the same time to get out the way. But times even that, a lot of people, they have a lot of conflicts about certain things. But that's why you need the agenda setter. Okay, this is what's gonna go on, basically. And but that's why it says like it's really rare when legislators do one thing at a time. But this might not happen all the time, the paradox. But things that's important to know that it can happen. So like, I mean, in everyday life it happens that, like, such as if we're trying to go out to eat, we have a group of three or probably more. At times we're not all of us gonna have that connection that we want, okay, to go to that one certain place. Everyone wants to go here, there. That's where that conflict. But that's why you need that one person in charge to be that agenda setter and say, okay, this is where we're gonna go, and this is what's gonna happen. Um, but even though at times that can create conflict, because it might create a good outcome where people are satisfied, but also might be another outcome where people are not gonna be satisfied and creates more problems than it already has. But that's what it says like here. So like says, yeah, in real legislators we really see these problems, and the why is like this is where the transaction cost, brings the time and resources, and also intuition, structure, and decision making. So all that you have to take in context to see, okay, why these things are rare problems. So far from what I told you, what do you really understand, like the reason behind the paradox?
The reason behind it.
Yeah, and why it's
To
important?
have a easier decision. Well, for someone to make a decision at the end, because of the agenda setter. So if there's a conflict, the agenda setter settles it and decides for the whole group, or
And what with the more people makes
more complication.
more complications, but there's still at times where when you don't have the agenda setter, when you have these conflicts, you still need to think. You need to find the reversion point, or which is the status quo. But things like the person who decides that then becomes the agenda setter.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end, when they make the final decision,